Hi everybody, and welcome back to Gay Armada channel for a talk today about how to order your travel guard insurance online. Now, this actually can be a tricky form, and it asks kind of a lot of weird questions and has a lot of weird options, so we want to make it really easy for you. So this is one of our tips, demo, and troubleshooting videos. So, you already know all the details on Gay Armada. We're going to go over a bunch of them. But once again, we're the British Virgin Islands, February 24th to March 4th. And we're going to protect ourselves by buying some insurance right now. So one of the things that you have to understand is that states are very different as they regulate insurance. And that brings differences in coverages, differences in things that they can let you buy, and differences in prices. So as you talk to your friends from the Armada in different places, they may actually have very different insurance experiences here when you go to order. So we're going to try to simplify, give you some examples, but know that it may be different for you. Here was an example of just, two different states. We had somebody from DC, somebody from New York. We put them with the exact same dates, exact same birthday, exact same everything. And you can see they had different packages and different prices. That's really driven by the state insurance companies. So you'll have to make that decision in a lot of ways for yourself. Now, one of the things we did give you is our new fast track cheat sheet on travel insurance. This is going to be very helpful because, again, the form is kind of annoying. So you can just stop this video and print that off if you want, or you can leave this video and leave it on while you fill out your form. But first of all, some key insurance rules, and that most important is do what you need. So we want you to have travel insurance to protect you, but the end decision is really what you need to protect yourself, and that's up to you. If you have questions, ask Travel Guard for help. You know, in these videos, we always say we're here for you. We want to answer your questions. In this case, we actually can't. So only licensed insurance brokers can answer true insurance questions. So we are not giving insurance advice. We're helping you learn how to fill out the form, trying to give you some product familiarization. At the end of the day, do what you need and is right for you. We're giving you advice and perspective, but it's up to you. Now, let's take a look at our form. So here we are on our travel form. Now we have a special relationship with the Gay Armada through AIG Travel Guard. We set this up because they are the best. We looked at a number of different partners for our travel insurance, and they were the best by far. So that's why we do it. One of the things is that the reason we give you all those links is that it's actually tied very much into the Armada so that it tags you as an Armada person. And that lets Travel Guard, if you have a claim or have a problem, they can come straight to us for help. So don't just go to travelguard.com, go to this site. They do give a couple bucks per thing to the Armada. We take that money and we use it towards the tank top shirts that we give you. So that helps with the cost of the tank top shirts. That's not why we do it, but the most important thing actually is that you're tagged to the Armada so that we can help you working directly with Travel Guard when you have a claim. So let's fill this out. Let's go to do our thing, and let's pretend like we are somebody from Chicago. I've never done Chicago. Let's see. So you want to choose the state of your residency, and you can determine that how you want. Probably the state you pay taxes in or have a driver's license. Destination country, this is a weird little catch. It's under Virgin Islands British instead of British Virgin Islands. We're not really sure why, but that always trips people up. Departure date, well, you all know we are going to leave February 24th, but a lot of you are going to go a day early. If you don't have your plane tickets, I would just give yourself that extra day just in case. So I put 2/23/2018. Return date, we're all coming back March 4th, 2018. Trip deposit date, I'm going to say today, which is January 25th, 2017. But let's say I made a typo. This is kind of a weird little thing in their website. It's actually, you can't delete. I don't know if you can hear me hitting the delete button. It doesn't work. So you actually just have to type over it. Not a big deal, but confuses some people. And the final payment date, let's say that I wasn't going to pay all at once, that I was going to do it over time. So that payment date would be October 15th, 2017. That's the day that all the bills are due for the Armada. So traveler number one. Now, what you're going to do here is you want to think about, how much does your trip really cost? And that's a combination of the things that you are having to pay for. So, and not just sort of the whole cost of the trip you expect, but actually what you're paying for. So if you, for example, couldn't go, all of a sudden something happened, what would you actually be out? So what you're actually out normally is the cost of the trip, which, right now, for example, is $14.95 for a certain package. For some people, it's less because maybe you're in a full group that's only $1,000. Whatever the answer would be, in that case, you need to take that amount and then add in other expenses that you're going to pay and be out. So things like your airfare, your hotel, anything like that you might prepay. What you don't have to do is add in all the costs that you'd spend in the BVI or the cost that you'd spend for, a share of the food and the bills and those things because you didn't actually pay them. So you don't have to insure if you had to cancel against them. So just keep that in mind. So we put 2,200 here. Probably could have put less because I'm going to have a shared hotel room, some other things. You know what? All right, let's make it less. Let's just say, I got my airfare and a shared hotel room. It could be 1,900. So let's do a birth date. Just for consistency, because we have that other guy, let's just do the same. 01/26, 1985. That would be somebody having a birthday tomorrow. And here we go. Now, if you're, for example, insuring yourself along with some friends or a boyfriend or husband, you can actually just add multiple people in here, which is kind of handy, and it just issues it all in the same policy, makes it super easy. So let's go to continue. Let's see what our options are. And we've got a few choices here. Now you'll notice when I reduced it below 2,000, a lot of our prices went down. So, again, the more you're insuring for, the more it costs. So a couple things here that we want to look for, and that is, really typically we want to have the platinum or the gold. Silver and my travel guard are pretty good, but the platinum and gold are the best. The most important thing we want is cancel for any reason. So you see here, it's platinum and gold. We can both get that. We cannot get that under silver. What we often find is that guys have this as a requirement, something that they need. Make sure you've got that. So, I want to look at the coverages here. I see they're actually pretty good. Trip interruption is pretty good. You know what? I think I'm going to go for the gold here, but I'm going to make sure that I can get that cancel for any reason that's so important right there. That's everything. All right. So I'm going to go to buy now. And here we go. Now they're going to give me some upgrades here that I can take a look at. And that is the cancel for any reason. Absolutely most important thing for me. A couple other options here. The medical expense and emergency evacuation upgrade. I think that's a good one because here's the thing about the BVI. If you have a medical crisis of some kind, like it might cost you a lot of money to get out of there. You might have to get back to the US, whatever. I typically add that. Some of you already have that through maybe a credit card, through something else, that emergency evacuation piece. So maybe you don't need it. But I just, for $10, the idea of, thousands of dollars of expenses in rented boats and things like that would just get real ugly real fast. And so I would just, here in New York, that's a drink and a half. So I'd throw that at that. So, all right, now I know what I want. Of course, that increase of premium. So they give me a little thing here. A couple things real quick here. Of course, I don't need renter's insurance because I'm not renting a car. I don't need the flight guard because that's sort of like a life insurance if I'm going to fly and if the plane crashes, we've all got other issues. That's my opinion. You make whatever decisions you need. So then I would, just fill this out with any of that kind of stuff. You can click here to add a beneficiary, which would be, again, if you had, insurance, you might want to put your mom here. Mom Jones, whatever her name would be. Just kind of lets you designate a beneficiary for the, sort of the life insurance-ish portion of the travel insurance. But that's now, you guys know how to all fill out where you live. A couple things that are important here. Agent email. And we put this in the thing. This also helps tie you to us. So I'm not really a insurance agent, but if you put my email here, Tony@PotomacAdventures.com, that also helps tie you into us. And you want yourself tied in with the Armada group because then we can support you if you have a claim. And we are actually really good at that. We make it a lot easier. So, airline. I know that I'm going to fly on American, so I can type American Airlines. But, as it says here, choose none if unsure. So you might not know and you might put none. Cruise line, there's some debate on this. We're not really on a cruise, but people can kind of go either way. So what we do is we put unlisted, and then you can either put TUI Marine or the moorings. We put TUI Marine because it could technically be any of their different like sub-brands that run your boat. So we put that in the form. Tour operator is the same. So you type unlisted, TUI Marine. And again, you can always just put none if you're unsure on these. Car rental, I am not renting a car. Destination, it carried over here. Virgin Islands, British, under V. Destination, state and province. So we are going to put the island of Tortola. And the city that we are going to is Road Town. And those are all, very simply in your brief. So, I guess just to fill this out, we'll say, I don't know what this person's name would be. Let's just say it was Tommy Jones. And he lives at 123 Main in Chicago, Illinois. I don't know what that would be. Tommy at junk.com. Phone number 555-555-1212. We're just sort of making stuff up here. We'll see if Travel Guard lets us go. Oh, and we forgot the gender. All right, there we go. Sorry, you're watching this live, so my apologies. All right, there we go. So we have to decide here, how do we want our insurance documents? I always say, take it by email. Then they'll just send you the little insurance card to fill out, which is pretty cool. Again, you'll give the information here. Again, make sure on agent email, Tony@PotomacAdventures.com. It makes it way easier. Payment here, you've got credit card, all kinds of stuff that's really easy. You could put here for agent name initials, you could put, TA, or you could put, Gay Armada is fine, or Potomac Adventures, either way. And you, my friends, then are done. Now, of course, I'm not actually going to buy this for this fake person. But what they are going to do, and you'll want to save it, is they're going to probably give you a PDF that's going to have a couple things in it. One of them is a bag tag for their service called Bag Track, which is fantastic. So if your luggage is lost, you want to have this Bag Track logo all over your bags. Bag Track is fantastic at working with the airlines and finding your bags and getting them to you, which is way more important because when we're in the islands, you're going to have a tough time getting lost bags to you, especially if if it's one thing if it shows up that afternoon or something. But if that bag's lost for more than a day, you're going to be in trouble. And then they're also going to give you the card. That card has your policy number on it. You're going to want to have that with you on the trip. And you're going to want to have that with you while you travel. It's also got their 24-hour emergency lines and everything like that. So now you know how to fill out the travel form. And we hope that you are going to have a safe and fantastic time. If you have any questions, though, that we can answer, you can always go to Let's Chat, which is GayArmada.com/chat. Set up a 15-minute Q&A call. We're happy to chat. You can always email us, info@GayArmada.com. If you're buying travel insurance, we certainly hope that you have first booked the trip. But if you haven't, you should actually stop buying the travel insurance and book the trip first. Anyway, that's it for this edition of the Gay Armada channel. We look forward to seeing you out in the high seas.